Hey everyone. So, I have an announcement to make and an issue to address. I'm sure most of you have noticed that my Twitch name and my YouTube name do not match at this time. I'm going to be changing my Twitch username soon to more closely resemble my YouTube name and may go as far as to try to change other usernames as well. So keep an eye out for these changes. I don't want to just announce these changes though, I want to explain why. It recently came to my attention that people thought my username of Marauder Phoenix was a Marvel reference or something akin to it, but it's actually a Harry Potter reference, or was. I've had this username for, God, since my PlayStation 2, my first one. I don't even know how many years that is now. You see, years ago when I read the books with my friends, a couple of us made this self-insert fanfiction to purposely be silly about it, and Marauder Phoenix was a part of that. Honestly, I'd forgotten about that I'd forgotten about that until recent conversations. And I don't think I need to go into detail of what events are the reason why I suddenly feel like I need to change that and get away from that reference and that username as much as possible. But there's also a very personal reason in this. One of the main friends I wrote this with, one of my closest friends, was involved, and she was one of those friends you'd think you're never going to part from. It's been 20 years, and something I would consider worse than just losing touch happened. She originally tried to ghost me, I think, but because both of our parents are close friends, she wasn't allowed to. Even at my age, this still happens a lot. I'm 36 and this still happens. She was dragged to my bridal shower a few years ago and forced by her mother to apologize, not something that should have happened. She should have been allowed to apologize if she wished to, not dragged to an event. What should have been, what was a very happy event, and forced to apologize, especially when she didn't feel that apology. The thing is, that apology, of course, was anything but an apology. In it, she started talking about how she freaked out when she found out I was diagnosed with PTSD after my time in the Army. And the words she described to use that will forever stick out in my mind. She said she could never see me that weak. It's not an apology, and it's not something I can just get over and move on from. My PTSD comes from multiple assault trauma, not combat, so that phrasing struck me, and it has never left me. I don't hide from the people around, the people I know, that I'm a broken person. Gaming is one of the many ways I cope with this. And without my friends, without support, I can't cope and I can't move forward in my life. So the moment she said those words, I knew she had no more place in my life. She didn't need to be there. She didn't need to be a part of it. That was probably the hardest part. An insincere apology, I've dealt with those 100 times, especially since my diagnosis, but it was what I knew needed to happen because of that lack of apology. So now, what that username is, now that I've remembered the origin of it, what it represents to me is a broken bond. Someone and something that has no place in my life. So it's time for me to move past it and to move on from it. So that's why I'm going to be setting about changing it. No more Marauder Phoenix. I'm going to be getting rid of that username. I'm going to be changing something closer to Willaria's Muse. If I can. You know, I might take some playing around with. I hate having numbers in my usernames, so we'll see what I come up with. If you've watched this far, thank you for listening, and for allowing me to be so open with you, to share a little bit about my hurt and struggles that I've dealt with in my life. I look forward to sharing more with all of you in the future. Not as the Phoenix, but going further, going more forward as Willariah.